Olympic sprinter Kristina Timanowskaya of Belarus has told the Associated Press she hopes to continue her career, but for now her safety remains a priority. Poland granted the athlete a visa Monday, and she'll fly to Warsaw tomorrow after her team's officials tried to force her to fly home, where the autocratic government has been cracking down on dissent. The current standoff apparently began after the athlete criticized how officials were managing her team, setting off a massive backlash in state-run media back home, where authorities relentlessly cracked down on government critics. A New Zealander made history at the Tokyo Olympics this week without ever reaching the medal's podium. Weightlifter Laurel Hubbard was the first transgender athlete to compete at the Games, but failed in her attempt to finish in the top three. She came up short in her initial lift, the snatch, in the 191 pounds event, meaning she could not advance to the clean and jerk or vie for a medal. Hubbard was cleared by the International Olympic Committee, having met all of the requirements for trans athletes and fair competition prior to the Games. She transitioned 8 years ago at the age of 35 and entered Olympic competition at age 43. The Japanese government has extended and expanded a COVID state of emergency as cases rise during the Olympic Games. Our Olympics correspondent Reed Cohen joins us live from Tokyo, where, despite the alarm, the streets are packed.
Good morning from Tokyo, where there is a headline. Doctors and nurses still very concerned about the rise in these Delta variant COVID cases. And you know, the restrictions that we were placed under, especially the first 14 days that we were here, don't really apply when you go out on the streets for the locals. In fact, we've got some video we want to show you right now. We went out to this place called Akihabara, or Electric Town. It was packed, people shoulder to shoulder on a lazy Sunday afternoon. Yes, they're wearing masks, but not a lot of social distancing going on. And apparently, according to our guides, the Japanese constitution doesn't really empower or give a lot of teeth to leaders to be able to enforce these COVID mitigation efforts. Here's what our guide Alex had to tell us about the crowds and about COVID here in his nation. Totally crowded street here, and yet we're in a pandemic. I think a lot of our viewers in the United States would say, whoa, this is not pandemic behavior.
Yes, exactly. That is a huge problem here. Since Japan, right now, the people who are infected by the COVID is higher than ever.
So big conversation also going on here about vaccines, young people and their elders having two very different narratives, and in the coming days we're going to be digging down on that. Japan notoriously low and slow in the vaccination rollout and getting it to their citizens. So it's fascinating to be watching this other layer of the global games taking place during a global pandemic. In Tokyo, live for you this morning, I'm Reed Cowan.
Thank you, Reed. It is now 6:13, and still to come on NBC 16 today, we have an adorable husky that's looking for its forever home. A closer look at that good pup on today's Pet of the Week.